So, welcome to both of you. Again, Iran dominating a lot of the front pages, and Keir Starmer getting it in the neck from both sides of the Atlantic. Let's start with the other side of the Atlantic. Donald Trump criticising him once again. This is on the front of the Sunday Times.
That's right. Donald Trump went on his social media again yesterday and basically said that the UK, once a great ally, is now considering sending an aircraft carrier to the Middle East. And he said, well, we don't want it because it's too late now. And we've already won. We've already won the war. Now, let's say that.
All shaking his head because the war isn't won.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Is it a war?
I mean, first of all, the war is obviously not won yet. Speaking to people in Number 10, they think that it's going to go on for months. One of the reasons why HMS Dragon, for instance, has not left yet and is not in the region yet, I've been told, is because they're trying to prepare it so it can go at sea for many months. So it's quite interesting because it means that the UK government expects this to go on for a very long time. And also, I think the Trump's rhetoric just kind of makes you think that this rift between us and the US is going to go on for quite a long time as well, that it's not forgotten. As he said in his post, we will remember this. Now, I think what's quite interesting is that we've got this visit from the King and the Queen next month, and there's already been suggestions in other papers that we're thinking maybe we should delay it because this is not the best time for them to go in America. We should wait until the conflict maybe is over, or to use it for our advantage, and maybe it's smarter for them to wait and go at a different time, and not now that the special relationship is such at...
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's for the 250th anniversary. I'm trying to remember the last time we were talking about them perhaps not going, what the controversy was then. I think it may have been over the Epstein files, but I can't quite remember. Because there was some talk
It does get a little mixed up.
Right, talk about them not going there as well, and perhaps sending the Prince of Wales instead. I mean, what do you make of this latest attack by Trump on Starmer?
Well, I think given that that's how Trump operates, that he just sends these ridiculous missives out on social media, that part isn't surprising. It's probably indicative of a state of mind that he thinks that that these attacks are done, that whatever it is, we don't know exactly what his motivation is for going into oil-rich Iran, the same as we didn't know exactly what his motivation was for going into oil-rich Venezuela. But whatever it is, it's not quite over yet in Iran. But he seems to think it is. And will he then get bored? Will he then move on to something else? Will he cause untold death and misery? Of course, it's a terrible regime, but he's not going to be able to change it just by bombing them, because there's 90 million people with all their thoughts and motivations on the ground in Iran who are not necessarily going to go with him because he's bombing part of their nation. So what Trump does next, who knows? It's just another part of his mindset that we should stop trying to second guess all the time, because I don't think he necessarily knows what he's going to do.
No, I agree, and I think Rishi Sunak, former Prime Minister, made a quite good point in his column in the Sunday Times when he says revolutions require both a figurehead and organisation, and at the moment there's none of that. The regime's new leadership is not giving any signs that it will change. The new RGC leader has got lots of examples of him repressing lots of protests. The new likely Supreme Leader is also not going to be any different. So Rishi Sunak is saying that actually what we're likely to see is that the equivalent of, British troops policing the border in Afghanistan in the 19th century, where, the striking missile facilities in Iran is just going to become just like what's happening on a daily basis, basically.
Also compared to the Germanic tribes as well, the Romans, just something you have to constantly do to make sure that you can kind of keep them at bay.
Let's move on to the other
side of the Atlantic.
Yeah, this side of the Atlantic. The criticism that Starmer is getting now from former Prime Minister Tony Blair. Paul, what do you make of this? This is picked up in the Sunday Telegraph. I think the Mail on Sunday also has it on their front page.
Yes, this is quotes from Tony Blair that he gave at a private event for Jewish News on Friday. He has said, or his spokespeople have said, that it was private, it wasn't meant to go public, as if. He said, I'm not saying anything to you that I wouldn't have said to the government. I think we should have backed America from the very beginning. you get a crisis in your life, the friends of people stand by you. And then he said, it's not like Vietnam, it's not like Iraq. We're sending in thousands of British troops. So I think you've got the argument, the public, that this American relationship matters. It matters particularly today. And there's other quotes like that. So he has gone in 2-footed at Starmer, even though he's saying that he's not.
And how much damage would that do to Keir Starmer, given that the Iraq War was controversial? Will people think, you know, I back Starmer rather than Blair on the issue of war, or how do you think it'll play?
I don't think it will necessarily be damaging with the Labour Party, which is still very much scarred by the Iraq War, and I think it was partly the reason why Keir Starmer decided not to allow Donald Trump to use our bases. I think, obviously, that calculation went in there. Especially now, I think the Labour Party as a whole is very much scarred by the Iraq War, but obviously people on the left are now very vocal. Keir Starmer is in a weak position, especially after the Gorton and Denton by-election. We've seen lots of people in the Labour Party, on the left of the Labour Party, wanting to have a change and wanting Keir Starmer to go more on the left. So something like that happening, you know, would have created much more problems for Keir Starmer. So, you know, this could almost be a badge of honour. You know,
yeah,
really
I think it's useful for him. Definitely.
Yeah, really interesting, and interesting to see how the Trump criticisms play as well.
Yes, will they continue as well?
We'll have to discuss that next now, won't we?
OK, then.
Martina, thanks so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you again next hour. We'll see you again in a couple of minutes.
What's the best thing about being a Sky News journalist?